Hey crew, I've got the key to this 21 Ford F-250 Super Duty. It's in Lariat trim with the Super Crew configuration and the shorter, yet still massive, of two bed sizes at 6 feet 8 inches. It's also the Tremor trim, so it's off-road prepped. We are going to take this truck for a drive, including some mild off-roading, but first let's check out how it looks on the outside and inside. Refresh for the 2020 model year, the Super Duty gets a redesigned grille and headlights in both LED and, as this is equipped, non-LED options. We've got an optional 12,000 pound rated Warn Winch. The truck is painted in Velocity Blue. It's a metallic paint color. Stepping back, my goodness. You just have to appreciate the dimensions of a 3/4 ton class truck. This thing is just, it dwarfs, well, myself at 6 feet tall, but also all of the half-ton trucks you see moseying about town. It's monstrous. This one is actually powered by a monster. Internally, Ford calls this engine the 7.3 liter V8 Godzilla. The wheels, matte black 18-inch wheels wrapped in Goodyear Wrangler all-terrain 35-inch tires. The extra height you get from those wheels and the suspension means the truck sits 2 inches higher than a regular F-250, so it has over 11 inches of ground clearance. And when your truck is this long, I feel like you need wheels and tires that size to just package it up nicely. Metal side steps, part of the Tremor package. The Tremor badge, of course. Redesigned taillights from 2020 and onward. You've got Super Duty stamped on the tailgate here. It's a power damped tailgate. You can open it here, there's a button, or from inside the cab, or from the key fob. This also has remote start on this truck. Spray in Bedliner, optional. LED bed lighting, tons of tie down points. You've also got an optional bed step here, so you pull this out and down, pull out the handle so you get up while maintaining your integrity, because otherwise, I don't know, what do you, swing a leg over? Scoot your butt up? I don't know how else you'd get in this bed. It's so tall. And that is a big bed. I don't know who needs the 8-foot bed, but then again, I don't work in an industry that would require that. Let's go check out that interior. Super Crew means nice wide opening doors. Easy to get up and into the rear cab with the grab handle and step I mentioned. Comfy leather trim seats back here with the Lariat trim. Center console comes down with armrest and cup holders. Power operated rear glass window. More cup holders up here. Plenty of charging options, DC, 2 USB, AC. Air vents, no third zone of climate control though. Big foot pockets so you can really stretch out. Tons of headroom, though no sunroof. You can, of course, lift up the bench for more storage options. And when the seats are down, you can lock up this storage area under here. In the front, we've got keyless entry. And with the Lariat Ultimate package, get heated and ventilated memory power adjustable front seats. Fake wood trim here, feels very fake. More grab handles to get up and into the front. Leather wrapped steering wheel, large TFT display in there. 8-inch touchscreen infotainment with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Bang & Olufsen 10-speaker sound system. More charging options in here. 2 USB ports, wireless smartphone charging. Tons of storage solutions, including adjustable ones if you need even more cup holders. Big center console, nice and cushy. And then you've got lots of storage in there. Sliding tray for smaller stuff. Super Duty stamped on the passenger side with its own storage. Really comfortable seats, very nice digs, would love a sunroof. Okay, let's go drive it. Let's get the party started. Pretty modest startup from that 7.3 liter V8. Got Apple CarPlay, pops up right away. Nice and quick on this screen. And there are just 2 on-road drive modes to the F-250. You've got normal and eco. So we're going to start out in normal mode. On the tree. Pull it down to drive. We're going to hang out in this parking lot for just a second here, because I'm going to show you the maneuverability, or lack thereof, of a 3/4 ton truck like this. So let's do a turning radius test first, starting all the way out here. There is no front-facing camera on this particular truck. I believe it's an option. Are we even going to clear this? Not fully. Yeah, so it's a pretty wide parking lot. Didn't even clear that. And then I'm also going to show you attempting to park. I want to scare this woman. Attempting to park between 2 cars in a truck this large. I don't typically do things like this, but for those who aren't familiar with something of this size and how difficult it is to do something like this, I just want to show you. So I got to swing all the way out here, assuming there aren't any parked cars there, like a normal lot. If you cut it too short, I would have hit him. Too wide, and I'd hit him. And we could see from the wide angle of the lower side mirror that I've made it between the white lines on both sides. Success. But you do need a lot of space to do that. And then backing up, if you had anyone behind me, this would be a nightmare, because you can't crank the wheel too early, but the truck is almost 21 feet long and over 6.5 feet wide. So just, to set expectations here. Now to talk about that engine, the Godzilla powertrain makes 430 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to a 10-speed automatic gearbox. That stands in contrast to the base 6.2 liter V8 that makes like 385 horsepower and is connected, what is this, supercar procession? And is connected to a 6-speed automatic gearbox. The EPA doesn't rate trucks of this size and weight, so it's like 6,500 pounds or so. So we don't know the official EPA rating for the fuel economy, but independent tests see like between 12 and 14. I've been seeing 10 on average from a lot of city driving. Hello, good to eat you in my truck. And it's a very smooth engine, easy to modulate, and that 10-speed automatic gearbox, ultra smooth. Now at low speeds here, even on a perfectly smooth road like this, I'm noting that the suspension with an unladen bed, payload rating of like 3,500 pounds, with none of that filled, sorry, the big bottle's making noise here, with none of that filled, the suspension doesn't have anything to dampen it, and so it's pretty darn jostly. Now the road is getting a little rougher. We're going to see when we get off-road. And I kind of expected that. Getting up to speed, again, such a smooth engine, linear power delivery. I'm barely tipping into the throttle, and it easily gets up to 70 miles per hour. If you need to go quicker in a hurry, and you put your foot down, the noise is awesome. And from a higher speed like that, it'll take a second, but you will get up to speed. No adaptive cruise control or lane keep assist system in this truck. You do have standard cruise control down here, which works just fine. And you have a lane, they call it lane keeping aid, but it's not. It's a lane departure warning system. So if you deviate a little bit from your lane, around me, we're good. Just come over. It'll flash red on the bars there, and then it will give you some haptic feedback through the wheel, but it's not going to correct you to keep you in the center of the lane. Considering how much input you have to put on this wheel to keep the truck pointed straight, I think a lane keep assist feature might be a nice touch. Because yeah, there's a lot of float here. The 35-inch tire hum is not bad at all. You can hear it in the background, but it's not very loud. And when you're at speed, the ride does settle down considerably. It becomes much more comfortable. And it cruises easily at these speeds. Visibility is fairly good. You've got these nice tall windows, especially here up front with the cutouts that go down low. So you can easily see down there at that level. The big door mirrors with the 2 levels. The upper one nice and large, the lower one wide angle. The back windows are nice and tall as well. Easy to see out of the back glass. I wish this rearview mirror was larger or digital or something, but you do have blind spot monitoring. You just saw it triggered there. That works well, and I would call it an essential feature. We saw from the backup camera when I was reversing there that it's only a 1-angle backup camera. You can option in a kind of bird's eye view system, and I might do that with a truck this size. And I know in a lot of the Chevy trucks, you can have like 10 different angles, including one you can hook up to your trailer, and so have that piped in through here. That would also be a nice feature if you're going to be towing with this truck. And the towing capacity, even on the Tremor, the off-road edition, is significant. It's like 12,000 pounds. Or even more. I think it might be 15,000 pounds. But yeah, really smooth, comfortable truck to drive on highways. The seats, as I mentioned, are ultra comfortable. Eat up the miles in this thing easily. Liking it so far. Off the line, the 7.3 does get chugging. There's 60. That run should take about 7.5 seconds. I felt that. I love the noise too. How about maneuverability? How much body roll are we dealing with here? Because we got leaf springs out back, and these shocks are mounted inside the frame, which is not a great setup for managing your roll. Great for impacts vertically, but not side-to-side motions. Brake feel is pretty good. Something tells me this is not what they made this truck for. Yeah, I mean, a lot of weight here, so you got to get deep into the pedal to get it to really haul down. But it does so. Honestly, a lot better than I expected. Holds its body in pretty darn well. As we head off the beaten path a little bit, I'll move us into the off-road page, showing our degree of tilt, forward, side to side, and then steering angle. But I will leave us in normal drive mode because our off-road modes available to us, deep snow and sand and rock crawl, aren't really applicable to what we'll encounter. We also won't need four-wheel drive low at any point, but I am going to put us in four-wheel drive high. And that is a very quick shift, which is probably in itself overkill for what we'll deal with, but just do it just for fun. To explain the Tremor off-road suspension, we have thicker springs. Let these off-road tires grip in, just easily pull us up. And beefier shock absorbers with larger pistons to supply better damping force for impacts like that you're going to encounter off-road. We also have larger oil reservoirs within the pistons, which really comes in handy on washboardy roads like this. High, intense, relentless impacts. To have that extra fluid is important. In the rear, we've got a smaller rear stabilizer bar. It's not disconnectable like in the Ram 2500 Power Wagon, so it's not as well suited to rock crawling this truck, but it is smaller for better articulation. And then you have these cool hydraulic end stops that engage in the final 20% of compression travel to take a big hit, like, for example, a jump. So let's see how those work. Oh yeah. We heard it, but let me tell you, from in the cabin, that did not feel harsh at all. That was impressively smooth. Not sure how much air we got. Probably wasn't much. Still felt cool. And this truck can do it. Now as the speeds pick up here, let that 7.3 liter V8 just sing. Truck feels super stable. Man, yeah, it's the intense little hits that this truck just sort of flattens right out with that suspension that impressed me the most. Again, I'm hearing it, but I'm not really feeling it. Power! Bit of pavement into some roughness. This truck can definitely take the hits. It's a good thing there's a nice wide open road, because you do not want to take this truck into your narrow mountain passes. But out here, this is prime territory for it. Into the thick of it. So basically, all the complaints I had about this suspension on road, its stiffness, the choppiness, they just melt away when you take it off-road, because it's proven that the work they put into sorting out the shocks, the springs, the stabilizers, the end stops, all of that pays dividends here off-road, creating a really stable truck in the thick of heavy impacts and relentless washboard roads. It's just good. And yeah, we didn't get a chance to do any rock crawling, but really, again, if you want to do that in a 3/4 ton truck, I'd probably nudge you towards the Ram Power Wagon. In all other regards, though, the F-250 Super Duty Tremor is amazing. If you don't need a 3/4 ton truck, my advice to you is not to get one, because it's huge and it's hard to maneuver. But if you need something like this, and you've got, as tested, $67,000 to spend, it doesn't get much cooler. It looks amazing. It's comfortable inside. Yeah, the ride quality is a little firm, but if you take it off-road, it will absolutely crush it. I hope you guys enjoy these POV drive impressions, and I will see you again next time.